Hey everybody, Ethan here from WordTech, back with another video for you guys. This is a little bit more of a vloggy style one, as you can obviously tell, but I've been doing a lot of back-end work that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and mostly involving the tech cave that I do, and also the studio that I do all the filming work and stuff like that in. It's going to help my workflow and some other stuff like that, as well as I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on what's going on with Project Monochrome, because some things have been not exactly changed, but the order of what's happening has kind of changed, and so I want to talk about that in a little more detail. But first, I'm just going to go ahead and flip the camera around and show you guys the new arrangement down here, as well as those that follow this channel closely might even recognize it, but our new set, which is kind of behind me. Alright everybody, so you might be able to tell, you might have been able to tell at the beginning of the video, but if you've been following the channel for a long time, you probably recognize this kind of brick wall here. But I've actually kind of changed this set around so that I can film videos a little more consistently and a little bit easier. Obviously all of that stuff would not be there, so just ignore the extra mattress and stuff. That's just temporary storage right there. But anyway, yeah, so this is the new set right here. I got the table set up here, which this is a set that we are using for WordCast now as well, but it'll also be the set for all of my videos and other various projects and stuff like that. At least one of the two sets that I'm planning to do. I have some space over here that I can store all my lights and filming equipment, so I can easily just pull that out, pull this table back, and I'm ready to film. Makes things a little bit easier, consistent background. I'm going to get some more products and stuff like that mounted on the walls and on the brick in particular and stuff like that here, but for now I've got the Thor case and a bunch of boxes of a bunch of different products, and those cables up there will end up getting pretty much fully organized. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys what that looks like. I'm pretty excited about that. It should help the filming portion of this channel go a little bit smoother and allow me to get videos out a little bit easier. Occasionally I get a little bit discouraged when I'm having to do like setup and stuff for filming. It's like I don't like that process to take very long, so I decided to rearrange the entire basement here, basically to figure out the most space optimized way that I can make it quick to get all of my filming gear out and ready to go. And I don't think it gets much quicker than setting the lights over here, putting the extension cord out, and clicking the camera into the tripod. So this should help a lot. Pretty excited for that. And I'm also going to be getting a new microphone that mounts on the camera rather than a lavalier microphone. It'll be it's a high quality shotgun microphone, and that's going to help too, because then I don't even have to run a lavalier mic. I just click it in and I'm good to go. Because honestly, it's kind of tedious sometimes getting all of the gear unpacked again to do the filming work with. So I figured this is going to make things a lot easier on my part so that I can get to the editing portion as well as transcoding and stuff like that a little bit quicker. So now, starting with the rest of what's going on here, I'll go ahead and move over to here. So this is a little bit more cleaned up. I've also got these fake snowballs that I got recently that I'll be using around holiday season when I start doing some filming around then. But basically this is a little bit cleaned up. I've got these drawers that I use here, and these right here, let me get that to focus. These right here are just different accessories and stuff like that that I keep around. Alright, over here the wine cooler, which has been there a while. Again, temporary stuff, don't worry about that. Over here, I already showed you that stuff. Over here is where things have actually changed a little bit again though. This entire table now is actually more of like a project table for me. So this is where I'm doing currently my cable sleeving that I'm working on, doing some Cloud9 themed cable sleeving for a buddy of mine. So I'll be getting that done soon. I've already got the 24 pin partially done, as you can tell right there, and also my soldering station and stuff like that that I use for cables as well as various other things. So this is a table that I'm basically going to be using for various projects that I have going on at a given time. Like these Ethernet cables, for example, they're all either broken connectors or they don't even have connectors on them, so I'm going to be adding those to those so I can use those Ethernet cables at LAN parties and stuff like that I throw down here. So moving over to here, here's our test bench, and this is something that's actually a little bit new. It wasn't originally actually put together to be a test bench. This was originally put together to be a cryptocurrency mining rig, but those that follow this channel closely probably know that I do not allow cryptocurrency mining at all anymore on this channel. Anybody that works on this channel and also owning cryptocurrency, I don't want there to be any influence and stuff like that. So I figured this makes a lot of sense. So this is anyway, this is the remainders of that crypto mining rig, and I'm just going to be using it as a test bench for now. It's nothing super powerful right now. It's just got an FX 6300 with I believe it's 8 gigs of RAM. I mean, it's nothing special at all, of course, but it's just something to play around with. I could maybe start doing some voltage mods on old graphics cards like that 660 Ti that I have sitting in there. there and you know, do some fun overclocking tests and stuff like that. It's by no means the bench that I would use to test like GPU performance, because obviously that CPU is going to be a bottleneck. The CPU is too outdated to test new CPUs, etc., etc. So it's not really for performance testing. It's just for now going to be for doing other random testing, as well as like verifying that a product works before I maybe install a water block on it or something like that. Over here we've got our phone system. I've got my server, which you guys have seen probably in the last channel update, or not channel update, but basement update. That has not moved or anything like that. My 4K TV has moved over here though, and as you see, there is no big desktop setup over here right now, and that has actually moved somewhere else, which I'll show you in just a moment. Here's my incomplete home theater PC. So that is a pretty nice machine right there. Once it's actually put together, it'll be useful. I'm planning to put most likely a Ryzen 2200G in it. That's plenty for running a 4K TV. I don't plan to actually game on it, so figured that works just fine. Going over here, we've got my DX Racer chair, which you guys have seen before. Yes, I left these here. It's a trash can and a can recycling container, because, you know, whatever. So over here is where the entire tech cave area kind of moved, all my setup stuff. Now I know, you know, this is Project Monochrome and realistically set up Monochrome, and yet the wall's red. Don't worry, that'll be getting painted white, and then there'll be black soundproof foam in various places on the wall back there. I just haven't gotten around to painting it yet. That'll be in the coming probably 2 to 3 months from now. So that's something I'm going to do at some point, but not right this second, because I was just rearranging things to see how I like the new arrangement, and I definitely do like it a lot better. Over here we've got my new 3D printer. This is the Monoprice MP Mini Delta. Very nice 3D printer actually. It does a pretty solid job. Here's like the Serenity from Firefly. I don't know if you guys recognize that. It's not focusing, but sorry about that. But yeah, that's so I mean, pretty interesting. It's got pretty good resolution here. Let me see if I can manually focus in on that for you guys, because I mean, I'm pretty impressed with this 3D printer, to be honest. It's pretty nice. So come on. Working on it. Yeah, it really doesn't want to focus. Okay, anyway, and I got all the filament right there. So I like that, though. It's nice to just have a 3D printer to play around with and stuff. Over here I've just got my collection of mugs, as well as some minerals and stuff like that. That's a selenite rock right there in the center. And then right down there, or selenite, I always say selenite by mistake. Right down there is a piece of silicon carbide. I think is very fitting for this area down here. And if you look over there, you'll see my NZXT Hue LED kit with extension kit, as well as the NZXT internal USB expansion kit. So all that stuff right there is going to be getting installed soon, along with some more stuff that I have coming, which I'll talk about in a moment. Then here's Project Monochrome in all its glory, with a beautiful SD card reader hanging out of it, because unfortunately, for whatever reason, that SD card reader does not like to work off extension cables. So I had it mounted down there, and it doesn't work when it's connected to an extension cable. It repeatedly connects and disconnects. Really frustrating. Anyway, that's why it's hanging there, because I was using it, not because it's permanently located there. Here's my setup with my ultra wide. So, and then obviously we've got my new Unicomp Ultra Classic. I had one before. This is a new one though. I replaced the old one because the old one I'm using for work now, and this just has blank keycaps, as you can tell there, along with a panic key on the escape key and the F4 key, which I think is fitting. Now, over here we've also got new SSD. This is not a boot SSD though. This is a 250GB 960 EVO that'll be getting used for project files for the time being, and in the future a scratch disk once I get a 1TB 960 EVO that I plan to use for my actual editing purposes, because 250 is still not quite enough for the Cineform footage as I'm working on and stuff like that. And then we've got my Shit Valhalla 2 right there, along with the Modi and Magni 2. Or sorry, no, I always say that by mistake. Just the Modi 2, and then the wired USB decrapifier, as they call it. I don't have the Magni. That's what the Valhalla is for. Anyway, and then I've also got an extension cable running down here from my Asus Zonar Essence, which is installed on the side there that you can't see super well, unfortunately. But yeah, and then I've got my ultra-wide monitor. So in terms of what's changing over here, so first off I'll go over the setup, then I'll talk a little bit about Project Monochrome, because I'm sure there's some of you that are definitely interested in that. So over here, this whole setup area, I'm going to be doing some changes. The keyboard and mouse and stuff like that will be staying the same, but what I am going to be doing is this ultra-wide, it's the 29-inch ultra-wide, is going to be in portrait mode on the side over here. The center monitor is going to be a 38-inch Acer monitor. It's a 3840 by 1600 resolution. It's an ultra wide that's curved, but it's taller than a standard ultra wide and has more horizontal resolution. That is a really wonderful monitor. I'm very excited to get my hands on one of those. It's also running at 75 Hertz, so that's kind of the next upgrade for the setup here. That'll be coming not too long from now. And then over here, we're going to be swapping this 24-inch out with a 27-inch 4K, most likely from Dell. That'll be for monitoring purposes since I'm shooting all the footage in 4K now. Alright, so over here we've got Project Monochrome, and this is where things get interesting, and this is why I wanted to save that kind of for last and talk about it a little bit. So, as you guys know, I have a lot of plans for this rig, and I've been upgrading it very consistently over a pretty long period of time now, actually, and I still have a lot of plans for it. Right now it's rocking a 1950X with 32 gigs of RAM. I've got the that's the H100i in there, I believe, is the liquid cooler. It's one I pulled off another system. That's why I can't remember what it's called. I believe it's the H100i with two Noctua Chromax NFF12s installed on there. And then I've also got 220GB SSDs. One's for boot, one's for project files right now. Those are with the PMY one and the Kingston one mounted down there. I've got the ASRock X399 professional gaming motherboard, Asus Zoner Essence that I already mentioned, a titanium 1500 watt power supply from Silverstone, Asus Strix RX 580, pretty happy with that GPU, but just giving you guys a little bit of a rundown of the specs. I've got two 4TB hard drives as well for games, as well as two 1TB hard drives that I use for projects. Now, of course, the two 1TBs are not going to last me very long, but I am swapping, or not swapping those out. I'll be taking those out, and I am going to be building a 64TB FreeNAS sometime this year, depending on pricing and other stuff. So that's actually really what I want to talk about. Is, well, first, you already know about the two upgrades I'm doing, but I also have an Intel Optane 900p 280GB SSD coming. That's going to be the boot drive, hence the reason that the 960 EVO is not going to be the boot drive. I'm going to be getting the Optane drive for boot in here, so no need for using the 960 EVO. The Optane is a lot faster than it in terms of real-world performance for like OS-based tasks, whereas the 960 EVO is actually going to be better in terms of like a lot of video editing and stuff like that, really high sequential transfers. But anyway, so future plans for this, obviously, I'm going to be upgrading the majority of stuff in here. I want to go to 128 gigs of RAM. I want to get a really high-end GPU. Preferably right now, I'd like to get a Vega 64. I have a FreeSync monitor, and my new one's going to be FreeSync, and I already have an AMD CPU. That's part of why I want to go the AMD route in terms of GPU, but I might not. I might end up going with NVIDIA anyway, depending on what's released and how MSRPs are. And then I also want to upgrade. I'm going to upgrade those two 120 gig SSDs to two 1 or 2 terabyte SSDs. Not sure which yet. That'll be for the majority of my games. And then I'm also going to be getting a I'm going to be getting two more, maybe just one more, I haven't really decided yet, 960 EVOs for editing, M.2 based SSDs. I might just get one, and if I need more space for more projects later, buy another one, so then I'll have that one along with a 1 terabyte. Not entirely sure about that yet, but interestingly enough, we live in a world right now where buying a high-end SSD makes more financial sense than upgrading your RAM or your GPU, and it's really frustrating to me, actually, because it's like, I want really bad to upgrade RAM. I need more RAM. 32 gigabytes, especially with my usage on Chrome, commonly having 60 to 70 tabs open or more in Chrome at any given time. Don't ask why, I just do. So I mean, my system idles often at like 16 gigabytes of usage, and so for me, I really do need to upgrade to at least 64 gigs of RAM, but it's just not financially viable right now. It's like, I can afford it, but I'm not going to spend 2.5 times the price that RAM is supposed to be. That's completely ridiculous. Maybe I'm going to end up having to. I'm trying to survive on 32 gigs as long as I possibly can, but it's, it's still frustrating overall with the pricing. And then GPUs obviously are impossible to buy right now, and if they are possible to buy, you're going to be paying $1,200 for a GPU that's worth $400. Completely not worth it. So that's really the reason why some things have changed. And now some of you might be thinking, well, why don't you water cool it while you're waiting for prices to come down? That's the issue, is I don't really want to water cool it when I'm planning to swap out the GPU, and I also don't really want to water cool it when I'm planning to swap out, well, I guess RAM's not going to get in the way, but when I'm planning to add more M.2 SSDs, it's like, that could get in the way if it's a water cooled graphics card, especially because I'm doing hardline tubing. So I'm waiting a little bit on the water cooling and trying to upgrade other stuff while I'm hoping prices come down, but we don't really know if they're going to this year or not. It's estimated they might actually continue to go up this year, so I might just splurge and go for it. We'll see. But I may end up building the NAS while I'm waiting for that, and also finishing some of the monitor stuff and whatnot. It's just 32 gigabytes is pretty limiting. thing. But anyway, everybody, that is basically it. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a setup tour and give you guys an idea of what is going on. I know, there wasn't a video on Friday, which I said there might not be. I talked about that. But, there's going to be more consistent content on here, especially now that I have the new set as well as this. And, then, I'm going to be doing a lot more reviews and a lot more project videos for you guys rather than just these kind of vloggy style videos that I've been doing more recently after I got back from vacation. So, I was on vacation for a while. Those of you that maybe missed my last channel update video don't know about that, so I was on vacation. Now, there's one other thing I actually forgot to mention that I probably should mention. My headphone collection grew by 1 member, so I'll run down all of them really quick, though. I've got the HyperX Clouds here. Those are just used for gaming. I'm going to be getting Beyerdynamic MMX 300 Gen 2s for gaming instead, and those are going to be kept kind of as a backup. I've got my Sennheiser HG600s, because you're not allowed to be an audiophile without owning a pair of those. I've got my Hi-Fi Man HE400Is. These are really, really solid cans. In fact, they are probably the second nicest sounding pair of headphones I have ever heard. They're absolutely beautiful, and they shoot way above their price range. It just blows my mind how great they are. And then I've got my AKG K612 Pros, which are pretty great. They're probably the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn, to be honest. Incredibly lightweight, and that suspension band works really well. But anyway, just wanted to mention that as well, because I figured I almost missed those, and that wouldn't be good, because we review a lot of audio products on this channel. Anyway, everybody, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out all the links in the video description. And obviously, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the setup and if you have any recommendations. And I will be getting some lighting for the back of the new monitor, which will look great, especially once the walls are painted. So if you were thinking to add that to this setup, don't worry, I have already thought of that. And I, again, apologize for this being kind of just a basic vloggy style video, but you will see more professional-based content on here with proper B-roll and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, everybody, I hope you all have a great day. And again, thank you very much for watching.